or Hermione, like that shit's special. I'm not trying to have that on episode 2.
Yeah.
The
For
fuck?
real.
All right. I think this thing started. Welcome to episode 2 of Earn and Rep with your boy Braden.
What's up? I'm
Adrian?
Seth.
Hey, I was super botched.
Let's
Let's
go.
go. I was hoping Adrian was gonna go. But
I tried, but listen, I was about to, but this man interrupted me.
Nah, yeah, but this is a
You
little.
know the deal? He goes last.
Yeah, true. But this is a little podcast that we cooked up. Trying to get our feet wet in the podcast game. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the topics that we got set for this episode. Let's get it started.
Hey, and not to mention, you can comment at any time during the podcast and let us know what you would like to hear.
Yes, if you are watching this on YouTube at a prior date, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a good one because this is obviously going to be posted after. But yeah, this is a live podcast that we do, and then it gets uploaded onto YouTube and other streaming platforms, or not streaming platforms, but you know what I mean, like iTunes, Spotify, etc. So yeah, if you do want to come in and watch these live, Koyu live on Twitch right now, but it's subject to change. We might make a new one for the podcast, so we'll see.
Got it. So let's hop into this first topic. So I'm thinking we're gonna talk about NBA first. I would like to talk about, some of the most dominant players or the players that have the biggest arsenal in the game. I know we all know a few of them. LeBron James, Steph Curry, James Harden. But to me, I'm gonna say Kevin Durant has the best arsenal. His scoring is unmatched.
Oh wait, we
Are we
get
talk-
into it
are
like
we-
that.
Oh,
Wait,
Are we
100%.
talking two way?
100%. I mean, we can. Shit, we can.
wait, what are you going off of, Seth? Are you going off
what's
of
your-
like
what's your
current
basis?
or all time?
I'm
Or
I'm going. I'm going. Like,
you're walking on eggshells right now, man. Like,
listen. I'm going on like my personal preference of like who I would build a team around. So we could say in their prime of current gen players, like current players right now. I would 100% take Kevin Durant as somebody to build around, start a franchise around. You know what I mean?
it's weird. I mean,
He's such a versatile player at
But
standing
but
at 7 foot tall. Got fucking guard moves. He has the height of the big men. The only thing that anybody can argue about him is he has no strength. He is small, but his capability to knock shots down over people. His dead eye ability, his driving ability, ball handling, shooting, and just his clutch ability. It's unmatched.
is he good at defense? I don't remember.
He's
I'm
decent.
not. I'm
He's
not
not.
too sure.
I think
He's
he is
not a-
good. I think he's yeah.
He's not like fucking Pat
How old
Bev,
is he? Do we know?
Kawhi.
He's in his 30s. I think
Well,
he's like 32.
yeah, because that's the only
31,
thing that I
32.
could contest off of building a team around currently. Like if we're talking about like next year type thing.
He's
But
32.
But I think
Look at that.
there's not too many arguments that I got against that. I'm gonna be honest. I think KD is one of 100%. It's obvious that he's one of the best in the league. But yeah, I mean, it's just weird. Like I said prior to us even starting this, I don't have too much knowledge too much anymore in sports. So I'm just going off of what I remember from when I hard body watched it. But yeah, Kevin Durant is like one of the fucking goats. Like.
Yeah, I think once LeBron retires, Kevin Durant's definitely taking over. But I don't know if or when LeBron is retiring.
Mhm.
Because he's still such a strong person in the game.
Yeah, he could just keep going.
And Kevin Durant's only a year younger than LeBron.
Yeah, see that's why the whole idea of building a team around Kevin Durant is kind of weird to me just because of the age situation, but it's not like he's like old per se,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I think I agree with you though. I mean, there's younger people that are so good now, and it's like in the
Yeah.
next coming years there's gonna be even more freaks in this league. Like it's just like in my opinion, like You know, if we got into the topic with MJ versus everything else, it's like I'm gonna leave it here. All right, let me just say this, and then I want your guys' opinion. Okay, we are walking on eggshells, motherfuckers. Hate these topics. Okay, but
Hate 'em.
it's as simple as this, right? You have a sport that you want to build, and through the years of it, it has to get better. People are practicing day in and day out, and they're just constantly getting better. It's just like Call of Duty, bro. Just like anything, really. It's just like the more time that it's been a thing and there's people doing it, guess what? People get better at it. So I don't give a fuck. MJ ain't the best of all time because of that fact. He is one of the most influential people. He is insane. Obviously, he's a fantastic player. He changed the face of sports, but obviously basketball. It's just like, to me, it is such a shame to have the conversation of, oh, MJ's the best without question. Nobody can even contest it because he was the first one to do all this. If that's what you're going off of, then obviously, I mean, then whatever. But to me, if you're talking about true skill, like real skill in the sport and becoming game sense, like you're talking about just knowing the game and everything, people learned from MJ, so they got better than him. I think there's multiple people that are better than him because of what he did for the sport. That's
Right.
my standing on it. Because how would basketball still be a thing if the talent is worse than it was back in the day? It just doesn't make sense to me. There's so many years and so many, just I don't know, bro. It's just like people
or
are better
even if
now.
it stayed the same, because you don't see back then people pulling up from 30 plus. You know what I mean? They wanted
Yeah.
they wanted to take shots as close to the rim as possible.
Yeah, whole
And
different game.
like
Yeah.
and going back on like MJ, like MJ is the biggest icon of basketball, no matter what you say. All right, he's
Yep.
the biggest icon. But LeBron, he's right now he's the best to ever lace it up. He's the best to ever step foot on the court. Now there's people catching up to him because he is getting older. He is
Yeah.
getting slower. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But that there's always gonna be somebody that outdoes it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like you know, D Rose was one of the highest touted players that was in the game, and then look what injuries did to him. You know what I mean? So if he would have never got injured, then I think he would have been the best point guard to ever play. And everybody's gonna say Magic. I don't think Magic was you know god tier, and he wasn't in LeBron's tier. We'll just say that. But
Yeah. What do you
Um,
think, Adrian?
all right, there's a few things that I want to say. First of all, going off Seth and your whole KD. KD's a great player. I agree with that. But are you down to go in all on some one person who's gonna sell out on you when you can't win or you can't beat a certain team?
so you're saying Katie's a snake because he moved teams?
I'm
Is
not.
that,
I'm
is that
not
what
saying
you're
because
saying?
he moved teams. He was with the Thunder. He couldn't beat the Warriors to save his life. So you know the saying, "Fuck it, I can't beat him. I'm gonna join him."
What's wrong with that?
Okay. Oh yeah. So you're telling me, all right, you're the best player on your team, right? And you're playing with a bunch of shitters. So
Arguably
you're
in
gonna
the
No,
come.
because
league,
Yeah,
you can't
listen.
even say that the Thunder was shitters though, because you have Russell
They
Westbrook.
they weren't
were.
shitters.
They are. Russell Westbrook wasn't putting up numbers until after Katie left because he was pissed that Katie left. Like, am I right or am I wrong? And I don't want to hear shit because
Russell Westbrook is a sole player. If I've learned anything about his game, he is a sole player. You can't no. What I mean by that.
It's
What I mean
hard to
by that is
work with that, though.
he thrives by himself on teams. He can run a team. You've seen his whole streak of triple doubles. That dude's a fucking monster.
yeah, with
But
a team
he
full of
thrives.
shitters that made it
He
nowhere.
thrives when he's by himself.
Is James Harden
Yes.
better than Russell Westbrook?
Yes.
Easily, hands down.
Easily.
But-
Thank
but
you. All right,
can't-
cool. Just making sure.
But like what I'm saying, like I mean, obviously, even though James
Sorry,
Harden's a
Westbrook.
better player, you know that. But like James Harden is a better player. He's a better scorer. I don't know about defense. James Harden's defense isn't really all that, but
Terrible.
he's definitely a
Pitiful.
better scorer. He's a better ball handler. It's just all around.
But
But you look at like real quick. I don't want to keep cutting you off, but you look at Russell Westbrook. We traded CP3. We got Russell Westbrook. Okay.
that's a great
There
trade.
was the whole question of whether
What's
or not
up, Jordan?
him
Thanks for
and-
the follow.
him and James
I
Harden can
don't,
work
I don't
together.
really
Whether
want
or
to
not
mess
they're
up
going to
this
be compatible
conversation, so
enough
I
to
just
make
muted
it
my
work
mic. But I appreciate it.
with two superstars
Washer
of
and
that
dryer
caliber on the same
definitely
team,
fits the
and look
aesthetic
where it got us.
of Seth. Yeah.
We
James
barely
Harden's
beat
on
the
the Nets.
we barely beat the Thunder. Struggled to beat the Thunder, and then we lost out to the Lakers like it was nothing.
That's
Like we got
because
ran.
the
We're
Lakers
we're
have
switching topics
such
though.
good
Let's
chemistry.
go back to the snaking thing. The snaking thing though. So
Yeah, but
yeah,
I,
go ahead.
I'm all right. So back on the snaking thing. If we're going back to that, um, I don't think I think that was his best move. If you have Katie and Russell Westbrook on a team, like you just said, Russ thrives by himself. So let him be by himself. Katie will go get his fucking check, get his $370,000 bonus for winning the finals. All right, and that brings him more spotlight. He gets probably same time. Katie's a good player. He started on both teams. Um, he's gonna get his money regardless. Dude's an amazing player, but I don't think that was a bad move in my opinion at all. It was a great move. That's like you being the only good player above average on a Call of Duty team, and then you going up against a super team that's been fucking shit up
Yeah,
for 2 years now,
it's
and
it's
then you.
it's so hard to judge that. I didn't mean to cut you off either, but
No, you're good.
it's basically to me though. It's like when you already make it to. I mean, it is a snake. He is a snake. I can't argue that. But because there's people that literally their whole objective when they got to the league is to represent the people that gave them the opportunity, and that is such a cool thing to me. Is like somebody that's really loyal to that hometown. But to me, right? I know for a fact I'd be lying to myself, and I feel like you would too, but that's just because of where I am, like my headspace on it is just like if I was KD and I got the opportunity to play with that Warriors team, it's literally just like I don't know. It would change his career thing. It turned him into like the villain, kind of how like LeBron was, and I think it helped KD so much. And obviously he's on the best team. Like one of the best teams ever, like literally ever. People can argue that was the best team. You know what I mean? So it's just like for people to look down upon it, like I don't know. It's the same people that fucking burnt LeBron jerseys back in the day, honestly, because like he was doing something that's gonna help his legacy, and for
Right.
we can't like it's so easy for us to look at it and be like, oh, that's a dick move. Like you shouldn't even like I don't know, like I don't know how to really word that, but you know what I mean. I think it was a great move, and it was a little snaky, but what's wrong with that?
I mean, I'm not necessarily knocking it. I'm not saying it was stupid. I'm just saying, like, if you're looking to build your franchise around somebody, are you willing to take that shot on if you don't have the wins, or
Cool,
if you can't beat this certain team, are you willing to take your
that's valid.
franchise and put all your hope into one person that could potentially turn around and burn you?
That's
I
really
mean,
valid.
I would definitely, if you think about it, because if you're building a new franchise, you have the funds to keep somebody of that caliber and not have to worry about them leaving if they can't beat somebody. So you
Not
could
not
offer.
necessarily though. I do
Yeah,
see
but
what
even
Adrian's saying.
I
even
do too. I do too. But I'm saying like, if you're building a franchise, okay, you have the funds, you have the cap room, you can acquire him, give him a little bit extra money. Look, the first few years might be rough, they might not be, but we'll see how it goes. Then you can start trading, acquire more people, offer people more contracts, bigger incentives, things like that. And then once you start building a name for yourself and your team, like boom, like there's no doubt. If Kevin Durant never made that move to the Warriors, he would never have 2 rings.
right, logically,
True,
correct. I agree with that. Logically,
true.
though, you're making the whole point about you're gonna have enough money to pay him and keep him, but you do realize that he didn't care about the money. He went to the
Yeah,
Warriors for the sole reason of winning championships. He took a major pay cut, a max deal that the Thunder offered him. Said no, fuck that. I'm gonna go to the Warriors and I'm gonna go get me some rings.
yeah.
So
People
the
of that
money
caliber.
standpoint
Go ahead.
the money standpoint is invalid because he took less money to go and win championships. So you can't say that you have all this money and you're going to pay him all these big bucks when he didn't care about that. All he wanted was championships.
Okay,
So
so
if you
then
can't produce championships, then that greaters his chance of leaving you.
so then look at it like this, Adrian. So would you take a pay cut to go and build your legacy, or would you keep your money, keep a higher pay, and not get anything, and have your legacy
Right.
move
But
as
Just be
that's
an
not
average
that's not what I'm
team.
saying.
yeah,
Your whole point process here is mistaken. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not
Oh,
saying it was a bad choice. I'm not saying all that. What I'm asking you is, are you willing to build your franchise around somebody that's willing to leave for his legacy and go win championships for less money? When you're saying, "Oh, I have all this money, I'm going to pay him millions and millions of dollars for him to stay with me," when he didn't care about that, are you willing to put all your hope into one person that isn't going to give you 100% back all the time?
100%,
see, yeah,
100%.
and that Seth's opinion. The way you worded that at the beginning of it, Adrian, actually did change my thing. I wouldn't pick KD because you're right. Like, you could literally have max contracts for plethora players and all that type of stuff, but at the end of the day, if a super team's built, okay, like the Warriors again, and they're just as good, like breaking the record and everything, like just insane team, like of just skill and everything. Um, you never know what KD or you never know what any player would do, but it's a very very good conversation. Like if you're talking about one player to build your whole team around, I think both you guys are right. I think he has the skill to build your team around, but um Adrian's right. Like I agree with him. Like I actually would change probably who I would pick just because it would probably be really easy for him to just flip and go to a different team. So yeah.
I agree. KD's a great player. I'm not saying he's not someone you should want to not build your team around.
He would
He's
dog
someone that
everybody.
you would want. But I'm saying, like, if we're talking about loyalty and the longevity of it, and the whole point of building your team around somebody is thinking that this person is going to be willing to stay with you through anything and everything, the
Yeah.
ups and the downs. So that was just my question within that.
So
Myself,
then,
good. What good?
no, I was gonna say. So who would you build your?
Well, I was just about to get to that. So, obviously, my favorite player is James Harden. But he's a little bit older. Um, and he hasn't been able to produce.
Well, he's a one-way
Um,
player by the
but the
definition of a
person,
one-way.
I agree with that. His offense is phenomenal. I think he's one of the best. He's going to go down as one of the best scorers of all time. I don't think that's a question. Um, but his defense definitely lacks. I kind of want to go the route of younger, and I'm gonna pick somebody that hasn't necessarily had the chance to prove himself in the league yet, based on the team that he's on,
Tyler?
and and I'm gonna go ahead and go Devin Booker.
Oh,
Ooh,
D
that's
book,
interesting.
D book. See, because that damn, I see. I was really hoping you were gonna say somebody else because I was gonna switch my answer. If we're going the younger route, I was definitely gonna say Luka Doncic.
That's
Yeah,
that's a good choice.
that's valid,
Um,
100%.
I would also be okay with building around the Spider, Donovan Mitchell.
I don't know, cause even with like that hero Tyler Hero, like I wouldn't build around him. Like he's more of like a support type of person, anyways. I think Luca is very valid, very very
And
valid.
actually, real quick, Brayden, I kind of want to go off what you just said with the whole support thing. How you guys were talking about how MJ, the goat, all that, the whole talk. It
Yeah,
upsets a lot of
yeah.
people. I personally, okay, so I'm not going to answer that question. That's not what I'm going with this.
No,
Okay,
I need
so
to hear
so
your answer.
the
We're
definition of
unfiltered
goat,
around here.
the definition of goat, greatest of all time, right? So you're fighting to figure out who the greatest of all time is. But I don't like the whole talk of the goat. I don't like the whole greatest of all time, because the way I see it
You're an
is,
emotion person though. I don't
no,
like
no,
that. My
I don't.
metric is purely skill.
Just listen.
Go ahead.
I don't like the whole talk of goat, because I think it should go by generation. There's generational talent in every generation,
That's
right?
obvious though.
But that's
That's
what I'm
what
saying.
Brandon
Like
said though.
like so you could, obviously, the whole fight is LeBron, MJ, the whole deal. Um, MJ was a generational talent. He was the best player in his time.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, LeBron is the best player in this time. So, like, I don't like that whole okay, he's the greatest of all time. He's the greatest of all time. Like
That's
I don't
that's
like that
shitty
argument.
to me though. Like I'm gonna cut you off just because to me, if you're using definitions, right, the definition of GOAT is greatest of all time. That means one person. It means
Yeah,
one
one.
Correct.
person that is
Correct.
overall the best player, the most skillful in their craft,
Through
right?
every generation.
LeBron and multiple other people, in my opinion, this is only my opinion from a person that's on a podcast that only has 3 viewers, okay? My opinion doesn't mean anything, but to me, skill is the only metric when you're talking about the greatest of all time. Like at least like the most of the metric. And to me, there's multiple people that are more like skilled than MJ because of MJ. You know what I mean? He gets the influential thing without a doubt. You know what I mean? LeBron's up there too. Kobe's up there too. But MJ got that. And I'm pretty sure nobody will ever be able to fuck with that. And so that's where my respect is for MJ. But MJ changed basketball forever. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Right.
that's why there are better players now than him, in my opinion. And so when you're talking about greatest of all time, I think it's bullshit to say, all right, we have to split it into generations, because I've heard that argument before about different generations, and it's valid, but to me, it's not like as fun in a way. It's just like you're talking about
Right.
the best player in the world, or even all time, the greatest of all time is the GOAT. So it's like people can say MJ because they watched him and they saw what he was able to do. People could say LeBron or whatnot. I personally think there's multiple people that have more skill than MJ because of MJ. Therefore, there's no way he can be the literal GOAT of the sport. You know what I mean? He could be the face of it, kind of like how Jerry West is like the logo picture, but Jerry West
Right.
ain't the fucking league. You know what I mean? So it's just like, to me, that's just my point of view of it, is like it matters on the skill, and there's people that got more skill. Like, I don't
Okay.
know.
All right. Well, if we're gonna go off skill, then which I can back up skill, then I'm not gonna say it's MJ or LeBron. You want my greatest of all time based on skill? I think it's Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, I think he overall was better. It's like Jordan. Jordan's in the thing. Hello, Jordan. She said the GOAT is obviously MJ. You cannot beat him. Period. And it's cool if you think like that. It's kind of like, I don't know, just to me, and this is only to me. I think MJ is one of the greatest. One of the greatest. He's definitely not the most skillful person that's ever touched a basketball, though. He was at the time, but that got everybody to become better. It's like saying somebody that did the first ever ollie on a skateboard is the fucking goat because he changed it. Like, that's
See,
it's
but
like, to me, it's not an argument.
with how you said he was the goat of that time, that would just solidify Adrian's generational player. Because if we're talking generational player, all right, obviously you got Wilt,
There's
all right.
people
So
that were in his
you have
time that were better than MJ though.
yeah, but listen,
I
so
don't
you got
give a
Wilt,
fuck.
you got MJ, then you got Kobe, then you got uh fucking LeBron, then you got D Rose, then you got KD, now you got Giannis, fucking people like Jimmy Butler, like Kawhi, people who can have all the talent of everybody in one person, but nobody will have the same mentality as another. That's what splits the goat talk for me. You know what I mean? There's like uh there was a picture that was floating around like 4 or 5 years ago of shoes, like younger newer players coming in wearing like Kobe's or wearing LeBron's, and LeBron was like, "Yeah, I'm humbled if they wear my shoes," and
Hmm.
that just lets them show respect to me or something like that. And Kobe said, "If I see them wearing my shoes, I'm busting their ass." And like that just really got me thinking, like the mentality of certain players is just like out of this world, just astronomical in how their game is played.
Yeah.
If you look at some things on MJ and how he played, his mentality of scoring or being the best on the court was nobody else can match it. But
Can,
I do
can
see
I
where
can
you
I
get
cut
the
you
whole
off real
thing.
quick?
Yeah.
I also think generational. At that time, people sucked at basketball, bro. It was really physical, But other than that, the
Right.
sport wasn't really a thing yet. Like it was just a blueprint really. And people were just running around trying to get as close to the basket as possible and all this type of shit. And to me, there wasn't as much skill to the point and that's why MJ was so good is because he was just severely better than everybody on the court. And he had the mental, like you said, it was insane. But if you watch that documentary, his teammates hated him, bro. Like he was such a hard worker and you can't take that away from him, but people hated him. And without that team around him, he wouldn't have done as well as he did. Like you can look up his stats, bro. Like he got first rounded a decent amount, you know what I mean? People hate on LeBron, but at least he made it to the fucking finals and that many times and just attempted it. You know what I mean? With the shitty teams he had, with the great teams he had, he got there, you know what I mean? This dude without Scottie Pippen was getting first rounded like it was nothing, bro. And just to me in this league that there is now, obviously because of injuries and everything throughout time, the game's changed with the aggression and the physicality, but you can't lie, it is still really physical, and everybody is so skilled out there. Everybody's ridiculously skilled. It's so much higher of a skill area compared to that other generation because motherfuckers did not know how to play basketball back then. It was just like MJ literally put the blueprint out there, and I don't know. There's multiple people that are better than him, in my opinion.
I do want to disagree with you on the fact of like you saying they want to get as close to the basket as possible. You're like 20 years too late for that. Like that was in in Wilt Chamberlain's time, like the 60s and 70s, where they didn't even have a 3-point line. It was straight twos. Like no matter where you
Yeah,
shot, it was a two.
that's how everybody
But
really knew how to play the game at that time.
yeah, but transitioning into MJ period, you you know the 3-point had already been established for some years, and everybody was just now venturing out past the 3-point line, opening up their game. And I think like that's where the physicality started to take a little step back. It didn't take a big step back, but
Right.
you have Shaq coming in the league,
It was still paint
like
dominant though.
90s,
Like
just
it was
yeah,
I
yeah.
like I'm not using it like literally like super exaggerated that it was only paint, but it was definitely more paint than like our
Yeah.
league now. You know, it's just like I just think the skill from the league compared to MJ was literally like like he was just so much better. And then on top of that, this league that we're in now, there's people that are literally able to do some insane things from people that you don't really even know their name. You know what I mean? It's just they're fantastic players because of what they saw from MJ, what they saw from Wilt, what they've seen from all of these goats. They were able to perfect the craft and become better in the sport. That's what sports are about, is to keep leveling up and getting better and better. So that's why I'm so avid on the GOAT talk of any sport, because it's just like how is it that like we can't have the conversation, because it's like when we're 60, are we still going to say MJ's the best basketball player of all time? And I will not do that. There's no way, because there's going to be people that are better than LeBron and KD at that time. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So it's just that, but that's just on me. Is like I think the metric isn't generational. If you do it generational, then it's cool, but that doesn't give a specific person the the name of the GOAT. Like it'll just always be MJ because he was the first one to do it. I don't like that.
I do want to say real quick, how you brought up the whole with like Scottie Pippen and all the people around him. I also think that in basketball it is very largely role based.
Very.
Like everyone on your team has a role, whether you're a 3-point shooter, whether you're there for defense, whether you're there to get rebounds,
Mm-hmm.
whether you're there to be like
Facilitate.
a LeBron or a KD and like go crazy and be just an absolute unit on the court. Even like Seth just said, facilitate the ball, like get
Yeah.
assists out, like
So
how
many
Rondo
roles.
is.
Crazy.
But like every like and then you look at like I don't know, it's hard to say because you look at MJ's team and look what he had around him, and everybody had their own role, and everybody kind of just boosted everybody up, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah. Perfection of a team.
the way
People say he
the
didn't have a
way
good
like
team. It's tripping. Like it's literally
the way
tripping.
Pippen and MJ played, left open wide 3-point shots for Steve Kerr.
Mm-hmm.
Or the way they played, they pulled a double team and it gave Dennis Rodman an oop. Like everybody has their own role, and within how good they are within their own role, it pulls things. Like even like so like say like even now, so say you have LeBron and AD on the Lakers. Okay, LeBron has established that he's one of the greatest players of all time. So he's driving to the lane. Okay, you're obviously gonna more than likely pull a double team on LeBron. Okay,
Yeah.
you have AD coming down. You're gonna get a oop off the AD when you double LeBron. You don't double LeBron, LeBron's just gonna dunk it over you. Like there's it's hard to go off and say that this is the best player that has ever done it when there's so much that goes into a sport and so many factors that you can factor in, whether it's skill, whether it's how the leadership that they had, whether you know what I mean.
I do, and that's why I said like if your GOAT conversation relies on generational, I think that's easier because then you could really be specific in this generation. MJ was the best hands down, and like that type of thing. Like that's cool. To me, my metric is skill. You know what I mean? And skill has a lot of facets to it with game sense and all that type of stuff. And that type of head that I built is kind of from video games, and like you're talking about roles. That's how Call of Duty is. That's how League is. Like every like esports is very similar with regular sports in that sense. Is there's a lot of roles, and everything has to be played perfectly when you're talking about the professional version of the game. It just got to work, you know. And I don't know. I think it's hard to judge a single player when you're talking about like such a team based game. But I myself don't want to have the conversation 20, 50 years down the line, you know what I mean? Like just being like this dude created the sport basically, you know what I mean? He's the one that had everybody be like, I want to be like MJ. I want to fly, you know what I mean? Like or whatever the fuck that thing is, but it's just like I don't know. To me, it's about the skill, and I want to give gratitude to the person that has worked the hardest to get to where he is right now. And I know the greatest of all time, right? Like of all time, hasn't like we don't know who he is yet. We don't know who he is yet. There's gonna be somebody better than LeBron and KD and all of this type of stuff. And I want to leave that thing open. Like right now, there could be a GOAT, you know, and it could change. You know, and that's where Adrian's thing probably comes into play with the generational thing. You know, you have that topic, but then you could be like, all right, now we know what all of the GOATs of their time are. Now let's compare that and let's get the real GOAT. You know what I mean? Because you could have 5 GOATs in the topic, but we're not done yet. Let's figure out who this best player is. You know what I mean? And I don't know. That's just how I go off of the GOAT talk of any type of sport or anything like that. It's hard to judge with esports too. Like who would you say is the best of all time in COD? It's hard. That's hard.
That's a hard topic.
Is it though? It's Crim6. But is it though? Yeah, it's Crim6. It's Crim6 or Clayster.
But okay, so you have Crim, 3 chips.
Wait, hold on. Are we done? Are we done with the GOAT talk?
3 chips.
Are we done with the GOAT talk of basketball? Because we could go into.
Let me bring one more thing up.
Bet.
He just brought up championships, and I hate when people bring up championships. Okay, because there's always somebody that has more. So like,
okay, you realize we're talking about Call of Duty though.
Okay,
no, let's not talk about Call of Duty yet.
But
I know, what he's talking about with me saying championships, I was referring to Call of Duty. That's a whole separate thing than the NBA. And the
yes,
final.
but I hate the topic even being brought up of GOATs and how many chips they have.
Are you talking about in basketball, Seth?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Because you have Bill Russell.
Yeah, people don't even talk about Larry Bird in the GOAT talk.
My shit's geeking.
While you're figuring that out too, Jordan said you can't do that because time does not end even after we pass on. And you're totally correct. When I'm on my deathbed, if we're talking about the fucking GOAT of basketball somehow, right? It's just of like when I lived and I got to witness all of this skill throughout my whole life, I'm gonna come up with an opinion that is my opinion. You know, it's just like I think the GOAT is said person, and then I'm like, and then I fucking die. There could be a better person later, but I won't know because I'll be fucking dead.
Well, realistically, all it'll ever be is opinion. It's this person's opinion, that person's opinion.
That's all it is. Yeah. That's why I like the conversation because it's like people that are like my grandparents or somebody that lived in that era for even my mom per se, like she got to live the perfect era of MJ and LeBron, and she's a Cleveland fan, and she would say that MJ was the best because that's what got her into watching basketball. You know what I mean? But to me, if I got 50 years on me, and I could say about MJ, I could say about LeBron, I didn't get to see MJ because of my age, like in true person and stuff. Like I think my mom actually went to a game. I'm pretty sure a couple games. But just to me, I would like to talk about generational, and then you break that down, and then find the real goat, like that. I'm talking mainly to Jordan because she's saying about the pass on, and it's a very valid statement because for our generation or whatever, you could say MJ, but I think I think there's already multiple people that are better than MJ. So if we're talking about the goat and we really broke that down, I wouldn't say MJ. Like MJ was for his generation, but if we're breaking it down more, he's definitely not the best player like of all time.
Now, I would like to point out, like, I do believe in goats of the position. Like, there's different positions. Like, obviously, you're not gonna be a shooting guard and dominate as a center. You know what I mean? So I do think like that should be a key point when bringing up goats. But like going back to ring talk real quick, like Bill Russell has 11 rings, Sam Jones 10 rings, John Havlicek 8, Tom
He's
Henson
like, who?
8, Casey Jones 8, Tom Sanders 8. Like if you're bringing up rings, like obviously there's Bill Russell has 11 rings. You know, he was
Goat.
fucking cakewalk. He was cakewalking through the NBA. He's like,
You
you feel
can't
another ring
do that
today?
nowadays.
Yeah,
There's more skill like that. Like that.
yeah,
That's all I'm saying. Is they were playing with babies, bro. Like the Chicago. If you watch that thing, they only really worried about like one team. There was like two teams that could contest them, and it's like when they got there, sometimes they would lose, and sometimes you know what I mean. Within the playoffs, like I like how many chips does MJ got? You got like five, like
Six,
5-0, 6-0.
six.
Yeah, like that's cool. You know what I mean? That's dope. Like that's literally one of the best things ever. Every time you went to the finals, you won. You know what I mean? But nobody talks about how many times he got first rounded and how many times his buddy lost in the playoffs. That boy LeBron gets that shit done. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I agree 100% with what Seth says. I hate the topic of the. I mean, I don't hate it because that's the point of the sport. I feel like is to get the championship. You know what I mean? So I don't hate the conversation, but it's like to make that your main like reasoning of why this person is the best. That's kind of bullshit because like you said, Bill Russell is the best of all time without debate if you're talking about chips. So it's like,
I agree.
And the game has changed so much since then too. Like, and plus with like the racial divide too. Like that was in the 50s and 60s when he was dominating the league.
Yeah.
He was like one of the only black people that were in the league that were professional. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, you know, it goes to show like how much the league has changed and you know how much they have progressed into the racial divide and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say on this too is Jordan's being good in chat. Like she's in the topics with us, which I think's dope. But yes, I do agree 100% with Adrian about generational. But to me, there's an extra conversation that's needed. Like I think the generational thing is a good format to figure out who the best are, and then because it doesn't say goats. The definition isn't goats. It's greatest of all time, specifically one person. So when you do that generational thing and you find the best players of the generation, you know what I mean? Then you could break it down. But like if you talk about our generation right now, there's so many like per se people that could contest that generational skill thing. I don't know, it'd be weird. It'd be like if you really took the time and wrote it down, there's a lot of people probably from MJ's time that were like really good, but he was the best. And like I don't know. To me, the metric should be skill, and there would be more people from our league that we're in right now than that league. So it's just kind of weird. I just like breaking it down more than just generational. But let's switch the topic because I would like to talk about this thing. I want to know your opinion. I think I kind of know. I feel like you would say Clayster, but I want you to control it because you're the Call of Duty nerd.
All right. Well, what are we? Are we talking about who's the greatest
Go
of all time?
wherever you were going. I liked it when you were talking about chips.
Okay. Well. Okay. So yeah.
Oh,
So
Karma. Yeah, Karma's up there.
the three in the topic for the greatest of all time are Karma, Krim, and Clay. They all have 3 chips.
Is that the only reason why those are the only 3 is because of the chips? I think that's the only
Not-
thing
not
you're judging it off of.
Not necessarily, but I'm saying like just based off of that, they all 3 of them have 3 chips. Shout out Krim and Clay, bringing Dallas. You know, they're the recent one. Obviously, you know Clay is my favorite player all time.
Mm-hmm.
That's hands down. He's my favorite player. I mean, you could also fight for the fact that Scump should be in the talk because of what he's done for Call of Duty, and he's been a catalyst in making
Scump and
Call of
Nate
Duty
Shot are the MJ of Call of Duty. They ain't the best though.
But personally,
tell me, am I wrong? Am I wrong with that statement?
If you want, no,
They're the face. They're the face of Call of Duty.
So much about Nate Shot.
Nate Shot is the face of Call of Duty, or he was at the time. Generational. See what I mean? It's a weird topic.
But you're telling me, hold on, you're telling me Nate Shot's over Scump as the face of Call of Duty?
100% at the time, because you can't lie.
They played together.
Exactly, but when you remember that house and how everybody filmed and stuff, he was the popular one. Nate Shot was the one that was popular. Scump had more skill, but Nate Shot is the one that catapulted Optic. Bro, I know that for a fact too, because I watched it at the time. Like with them doing all those house things, he was the face of Call of Duty at the point. And then when Scump got more popular because of Nate and because of Optic's house and stuff, I think it transitioned towards like Advanced Warfare and stuff. That Scump was like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? Like he's obviously like one of the best skilled aimers or whatnot with the sub, but they were the face of the sport. Not saying that they're the best. I don't think Scump's the best of all time. You know how much I love Scump. He's my favorite player, but I really try to break that thing down. I don't think he's the best, but they were the face of it though. Go ahead though.
But okay, so as I was saying, so for a long time, Damon, for anybody, it's Karma. That's who Damon is. He was hands like no, I don't want to say hands down because I don't necessarily believe it, but he was always talked as to be the GOAT because he got 3. He had a lot of wins, but he was also, you have to also look in the fact that look at what teams they played on. Like
and yeah.
Crimsick, both Crimsick and Karma were on the Optic Dynasty. And it's very hard to say that Optic wasn't the best Call of Duty team all time. Like
I don't
know
know.
if you were playing Optic, you knew you had to bring your A game or you weren't gonna win.
I think it was more about the clout. I think because they were the biggest team. It depends what game you're talking about, but because
I mean, it's also hard to base because like you just said, it's hard to base because there's a new title every year.
Yeah, literally so the way the game plays can make like you could be the best team and literally become like top like 6 or something because of literally just because of a new game. Like it actually is that simple because it's on a different engine from different companies and stuff. So it is hard to judge. I don't think that I think I want to, bro. I love to be like selfish about it and just be like Optic was the best team. That 4 was the best 4 together, but really it wasn't. To me, I think Black Ops 2 complexity, bro. That team is
I can get behind that, yeah.
Literally freakish, like literally freakish. They ran that game like it was nothing. And they like kind of like how LeBron when he went to Miami, they were the villains, man. Like this Optic team was the underdogs. Like they always were the underdogs too. That's why I don't think like they were the best team. Like they just had the most clout, and everybody wanted to go with them because they were the underdog, and everybody wanted to cheer and see the underdog like thrive. But complexity was, I don't know what my full decision is. Like we didn't really talk specifically about this prior and like have like a discussion and actually figure out like who we think is the best team, but without thinking about it like and taking enough time, I think I would pick complexity, honestly, because that it just I don't know, just from the time period and stuff, it's just
I can back that.
I don't know.
I mean, you know how much personally I don't like Optic. I've always been a FaZe guy. I loved FaZe.
Fucking hater.
I was a huge FaZe fan. So naturally I couldn't. No, that was way. That's
I know.
New.
I know. I'm just.
That has nothing to do with that. That zoom unattached, motherfucker. What? Um. Anyway, um. So as much as I hate Optic, I feel like personally, they're just with that dynasty. It's hard to say that four of Crimsix, Karma, Scump, and Nade just isn't. It like it's hard to
And
go against that.
Nade, why are you
Yeah,
bringing up Nade?
because Nade came before Formal.
I don't care, dude. I
And
think
okay,
Formal's
okay, my
better
fault, my fault, my
than
fault.
Karma. I think honestly, I don't give a fuck.
Um,
I would trust Formal a lot more.
But I do wanna bounce off how you said complexity, because that complexity team was really good, and complexity ran Call of Duty Ghost. I don't know how much you watched in Call of Duty
Yeah,
Ghost,
yeah.
but they ran the scene. In Call
I don't
of Duty Ghost.
remember like records and all that, but
As far as the GOAT talk though, I do want to give a little shout out. I don't really consider him in the talk, but off that complexity team, it's hard to say it's hard because he's really hated within the community, but it's hard to say that Aches isn't a staple.
That's one of my least favorite people because I was an Optic fanboy. But yeah, if you're talking about without emotions and you take away that stuff, you're talking about pure skill, definitely in the conversation.
But yes, Aches was a very good player.
He still can be one of the best, I think.
Nah, he's washed. He's been washed.
I know. I just want to hype him up. You know, when he hears this, he'll be like, "Let me get on the sticks."
Fuck that. Anyway, so to answer, I'm just bullshitting at this point. But to answer your question, personally, as much as I love Clay, I think you have to give the greatest of all time, as of right now in Call of Duty, to Crimsix. Only because
is he better than like the you know more than me, but like right because you use the term right now. Is there better players than Crim right now, stats wise or whatnot? I feel like there would be.
100%.
Yeah, I'm only saying that because you're saying right now.
Majority of the players now are a lot younger. Like, I mean,
yeah, they're freakish.
Okay, so well, it's hard to say because Crimsix is only 27. So he's 27, but in the career of Call of Duty, the golden years for Call of Duty is okay. So you're building your path up while you're 15, 16, 17, and then you can finally compete once you're 18.
Yeah.
So you hit 18. So a lot of the really good young talent right now is 18, 19 years old. So but and then that goes into say like with Crim, him being 27, he's had a good 10 years to build his resume to be the greatest of all time. But he has 3 chips now, and he's hands down. You can't take it. He's the most winningest player in Call of Duty history.
Yeah.
Which actually, I'm gonna look that up and tell you how many wins he actually has. But I do want to. So do you agree with that? You think it's Crim?
I do think it's Crim. And before we get into this, Jake, I don't know if you have a webcam. Maybe if you can motherfucking go on your MacBook. I kind of would want you to join in because since we're talking about stuff, I would want to talk about Fortnite with you a little bit because like we're talking about goats. Basically, I don't know how long you've been in here, and I would like to have this conversation with you about goats because that would be really dope. But yeah, going back to Call of Duty. And, yeah, if you can't, Jake, that's fine. Like we can get you on a different episode and stuff. But just like popping in real quick for Fortnite, that would be dope. Basically, yeah, Crimsix is the best of all time. To me, that's the only thing because they're like some of these newer players. Like I don't watch it as much as I probably should, but because I do enjoy it. It's just like I don't watch it as much as like I watch like Fortnite and stuff. There's probably some of these players that are out right now might surpass him at some point, but I just don't think, like you said, you used a really good word with resume. It just Crim was on Complexity, who we're talking about is like a top 2 at least team of all time. I think they were the best, but he was on that team. He was on Optics team when they were in their prime. Even though they didn't win their chips when they were in their prime, they were still like the best team. You know what I mean? They were running everything. I think it's really hard to say that it's not Crim. I think Crim is probably the best. Clay's up there, Aches is up there, Scump can be up there, Formal might be up there, but they're not better than Crim. I don't know, and like I used to watch not documentaries, but like kind of like the background and like teammates and all that type of stuff, like the MJ series, and that boy Krim, like his teammates like him. Like I mean, like Scump, they had a little issue, but it's because of the mentality. That boy Crim6 cares. You know what I mean? And he ain't trying to just mess around on stream and just fool around 24/7. He's trying to work. You know what I mean? That's his job. And like, I respect Krim literally to the fullest. That dude is so good.
I need to start
Alright.
watching COD.
Yes, Seth's like, I don't know what the
really
fuck
like
we talking about.
like it's definitely acquired to watch Call of Duty. But if you get as in depth in it as we are, and you can understand the game of Call of Duty and
He understands it. He's played enough of ranked.
appreciate it for what it is, it's a lot of fun to watch.
That's what I try to explain to you about Fortnite, Adrian, is there's levels to this shit. And if you actually understand what they're trying to do in these end games, it literally is so mind-blowing because there's so much to it compared to Fortnite Search or Fortnite fucking Hardpoint. Like, or sorry, Call of Duty Hardpoint and like all of that type of stuff. He's like, they put capture the flag and that shit. But just to me, that's why I love Fortnite so much, is just because there's so much stuff. But we don't have to talk about that. But yeah, dude, learning the game enough to watch it competitively is so cool because it's like a normal sport, in my opinion. Like, you know,
plus there's literally nothing better, bro, than watching your favorite player turn and burn on two people and then snap and get a 3-piece in the middle of a hard point. It's literally the
imagine
like,
endgame,
so
50 people storm surge, and you gotta rotate to second moving with the little mats you got, and you're fucked. So what do? You look to your right, you jump in a box, 200 him, grab all of his shit, end up winning the game with 3 more kills, bro. Levels to that shit.
So I looked it up. All right, so Crim6 is, like I said, is the most winningest player in Call of Duty history. All right, so he's currently sitting at right now before this upcoming
all good, Jake.
season,
Yeah, we'll get you on an episode
sitting at 39
soon,
wins.
I want to talk about that.
So that's tournament wins. So him going into tournaments, he's won 39 times. Scump, I'm gonna read the top 6. Scump's in second with 30. Karma's in third with 24. Well, actually, Karma and Formal are tied for third with 24 apiece. Clayster's fifth with 22, and in sixth is your boy Aches with 17.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Call of Duty is I don't know. I don't even want to say easy because it is a weird subject. Like the roles just affect it. But if you're talking about a specific player and like you need to pick a player of the greatest of all time, it's not really hard to argue to me. Like I think Crim6 is like the most obvious choice. I guess there is an argument for other players. I take that back, but
he's also the highest earning
Yeah,
player.
He's the highest earning. He's who I would want on like a team. You know what I mean? 100% like before
crazy.
Anybody.
Imagine you play Call of Duty 15, 16, 17, okay? You go pro. Well, actually, he played when he was younger, when he was like 16, 17, because that rule wasn't in yet. Yeah. But imagine you have a 10-year career playing professional Call of Duty, and you made $1,144,909 playing Call of Duty.
Dude, like, see, this is why I wish you got into Fortnite, bro. One tournament, Booga won $3 million off of one night. You're talking about $1 million in 10 years.
Just crazy, dog.
You're talking,
damn.
Like you're talking about money with Call of Duty. It makes no sense to me. I hope you like that, Jake. I hope you like that. That boy, Aqua and whatever the one, Nyrox, I think his name is, the duo. They won so much money in one night. You know what I mean? Like multi-millionaire. 3 people were multi-millionaires in one night. And that's just one tournament. Like you're talking about all of the qualifiers, all that type of stuff. Like Fortnite's on another level if you're talking about money.
Can we switch over to Fortnite real quick?
We could talk about it. It's just like I don't know how much we could really talk about competitive Fortnite though. You know what I mean?
See, I'm not saying competitive. I'm just saying the game as it is.
Cool.
Because
let's do it.
I definitely would have stuck with Fortnite because when it came out in 2017. Well, it came out in 2016 or summer of 2017. And we all started playing that. We had our little group. Fuck y'all for Plan A, bitches. But anyways,
Man, ate his ass.
If if they didn't come out with so many updates, the game would still be thriving.
Mm.
They just fucked the game over with updates and like
This is
things like
why
that.
this is why the conversation's kind of weird, you know, and why I would want Jake in here or somebody that has like plays Fortnite, like actually plays it. There's it passed a certain level. The skill after turbo building became a thing, and because Myth was really good with building prior to turbo building and stuff, is like the game changed, and so like people needed to change with it, or you're gonna get left in the dust. People that played that game casually obviously stopped playing it because the game got so nerdy. People were talking about, you know, these twin towers in 1 second and all this type of stuff, but it's like it's just hating a game that you don't know how to play. I'm not saying you, I'm just using you as like a thing. It's like for me and Jake, there's multiple issues in the game that are completely different from what you guys are talking about, because updates ruin the game, I guess, but it's like at the end of the day, what put everybody off is the people that didn't put in the time and creative to actually become really good with the main part of the game, which is building. So it's like when you go into it with the Call of Duty mindset, or frankly any game that's out except for Fortnite, if you go into it thinking that this is a shooter, you're going to be sadly mistaken when these motherfuckers are doing triple edits coming at you, throwing cones in your box and everything. It's a whole different game than what it used to be. And I think it was for the better because of competitive, you know. It either was going to go this route, or it was going to go the super casual route for only kids, and we were still going to probably not play it. Honestly, like it's just because after a while it's just going to get stale. It's a battle royale, and it's only a battle royale. It's not like Call of Duty that it's separated from the actual game with different game modes and stuff. So it's like it's just going to get old. But you know, to me, creative and comp kind of ruined Fortnite in the sense of, you know, everybody leaving it and stuff. But it's not. It's just it's a different game now. It's a whole different game. And prior, because I think one of you guys are about to say something, but you said something about $1 million. That's petty money. Jake said the top 4 solos were already millionaires off of that one night of Fortnite, and the top 2 duos, so 4 more people. So 8 people, not 3, not the duo and the one that I thought, but 8 people become over $1 million. Like, bro, you can't lie. That changed. Call of Duty's changed people's lives. Dota 2, League, and Fortnite, man, like that stuff really changed people's lives. Like I don't know, man. That stuff is. Oh, and there was a creative World Cup. I didn't even think about that. With Courage and Scissors.
Say how what you're talking about right now with how they became millionaires overnight. Keep in mind that they're solo players. Call of Duty, you're getting.
I said duo too, and trio and squad.
Even if that's 2 players
and 4 squads, 4.
You're splitting $1 million between 4, 5, 6 people.
No, I'm saying that they were millionaires, like even after the split.
Okay, well then your guys is your fucking
a lot of money,
a lot bigger.
The prize pool is a lot bigger, but see, the crazy thing is there's not so many. I apologize, but there's like a couple games that are severely higher. Like Jake knows what I'm talking about. He's a League player, or I don't know how much he plays League, but he enjoys it. League and Dota 2, bro. Like if you look up, you can look it up right now, bro. Look up esports earnings, right? Literally the top 100. I don't even know if there's a Call of Duty player, but there's like one Call of Duty player on this list. Everything is Dota 2, bro. They like that game has changed everybody's lives that play it, and I've never played it, but it's just not my cup of tea. But yeah, you're talking about money wise, those games are where it's at.
Well, yeah, but like the prize pool for those type of things is a lot bigger. Like even like with Call of Duty, after they went to franchising, this is the biggest prize pool that they've ever had. Ever. Yeah. And even I'm thinking back to when Clay won with Attach, JCap, and I don't remember who their 4th was. When he was on Denial, when they won in 2015 for AW, the prize, like the number one, for getting number 1 in that tournament was 800,000. Him on Dallas
Split?
Empire, yeah. So it was 800,000 split between 4 people. The prize pool alone for this year with him on Dallas was 1,500,000, and it was supposed to be 2 million for first place, but they had to take some
Yeah, I
like money
remember.
cuts because of COVID, and they
Yep.
couldn't sell tickets for venues and all that stuff.
Yep.
So they ended up losing $500,000. But that's still like that's the most money any Call of Duty player has ever competed for. So like now that we're in franchising, it's starting to get a little bit bigger. But like
Yeah.
prize pool definitely plays a factor in that. Like obviously Fortnite's prize pool is way bigger, so they're obviously gonna have more money.
I don't, and I only brought that up because you're talking about how crazy it was that somebody with a 10-year resume has only made that much money or grossed that much money in tournament earnings. That's the only reason I brought it up, because money isn't like a factor when you're talking about
Right.
like greatest or whatever and stuff. I just think that, like, bro, I've watched every COD championship. Like when I was watching them live and stuff. I mean, me and you watched it together this year. But I'm talking about like Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3, bro, like that COD champs and stuff. Literally like almost second to none. Like it's one of the best things. I couldn't imagine being in person. But World Cup, bro, I still think watching World Cup solos like in duos and stuff, bro, maybe it was because I was so invested in it, just like how you are with Call of Duty. There will never, like, unless World Cup 2, I don't even think that's gonna do the same thing for me. But World Cup was the craziest thing I've ever experienced, bro. It was the coolest thing ever to watch and to experience, because I knew how the game worked. I knew what these people were trying to do. Obviously not to their level because I didn't get there. But like when I watch a tournament now, like I know exactly like what their goal is and what they're trying to do. And that's the whole thing me and you were trying to figure out in Ghost and all that type of stuff. And now we can just casually watch a tournament of Call of Duty and know exactly what's gonna happen. Or not exactly what's gonna happen, but like we're able to follow it like a basketball game or a football game, you know? And I don't know. I think esports is on such a rise, man. It's so cool. Like I don't know. We've been flip flopping off of a lot of topics, but honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing per se, because it's just so cool, and this is what
I mean,
we
we're
all
just here to
like.
create conversation.
You know,
You know?
I don't know if this matters, but you know, we're already at an hour, and I feel like we've like not even, you know, we haven't even talked about hobbies yet. See, this is why I told you prior, like if we just try this, you know what I mean? I know this shit will work, because it's like we're not terrible at talking to each other, you know?
And we spent 45, 50 minutes talking about fucking basketball.
I do want to say about like I feel like definitely kind of because how you were talking about Fortnite and how it's transformed into this like just crazy fucking world of just I'm gonna build to the fucking sky.
It's
Um,
not like that anymore, too. You haven't even seen the meta change.
but
It's
but I'm
boxes. It's just
saying that
box
I
fights.
literally about to just say that the meta changing just propels esports into a whole new light. I feel like, and
Can you
there's
go a
different
little bit in depth, because I'm kind of confused.
I mean I don't
You're
really
talking
know.
about talking about specifically Fortnite.
I mean for any like any esport honestly. Um,
It just like because like I'm trying to follow your verbiage. You're talking about.
well, because I was kind of more so like I wanted to say that more so to, like when you're talking about like when we were talking about who the greatest of all time in COD was, um, like there's different metas within Call of Duty. Like for this year, I personally think we're gonna have a solid AR meta, so the sub players aren't gonna be as good.
Yeah,
Like, does
three
that make
round
sense?
burst,
Yeah, probably.
three round burst running with the
As
fucking
it
gallo.
stands right now, for sure.
Um, but I just feel like the meta plays a big fact into whether how much success is gonna go into something sometimes.
I feel you. I feel you.
Like like if you're Scump, you're a main sub, right? So you're probably gonna run the MP5 more than likely. So, but
I thought
like
the
if you're
74U is better right now in comp.
it kind of is honestly, but I don't know. I feel like they're still gonna use the MP5. I don't know. Whatever the sub may be, but like he's obviously he has his skills. He's good in his own fucking way. But if you're, it's hard to thrive in a game when the meta is shifting to the ARs and you have an M16 and an AK watching a lane and you got to try and get somewhat close to even get a kill with a sub. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That could
Yeah, like
personally affect
he might not have
his
a good
year.
year compared
Yeah,
to yeah.
it could affect his whole year and his whole stat line. Like you know, that's kind of where I was going with that, if that makes sense.
I got you, but I think like the way you worded it was kind of weird, because you said like the meta change. propels esports. And like I think really like I mean it's obvious, but like the audience is what really like does it. You know what I mean? If something like Fortnite, like
That's true.
hate it or love it, man, Fortnite literally changed esports forever, in my opinion. I think it's it's not even really opinion. It's just so obvious with how much money was thrown into it and stuff. Is like they did what they needed to do to get different eyes on gaming. Okay, people when we were playing Advanced Warfare and all these type of things when we were still in school, like it was accepted, but like you were still looked at as like a nerd. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like we were already graduated at the point of Fortnite coming out and stuff, but like you saw Twitter, Instagram, everything. That's all people were talking about, bro. It's every single
bro.
person in the world played every single day, and like rappers, everything. Drake, you remember all that stuff popped off with Ninja, and it made gaming literally popular to the point that you were cool if you game. You know what I mean? Like you're actually dope. You know what I mean?
Right, that said like the status quota for gaming.
Yeah,
Like,
it changed it
100%.
forever in my opinion, and I will always have a tie with Fortnite because of how much time I've already put into it. Like I'm excited for this next season that's gonna come out. I like me and you were talking about earlier, Seth. With the I wanted to talk about that. So we don't have to talk about Fortnite forever, but Jake's in here too. I know he'll enjoy this. But so basically, you haven't heard this yet either, Adrian. I would like to get you on December 1st. Okay, the reasoning is because the two highest cinematics, you know their events that they always have.
Yeah.
Their two highest ones were the Travis Scott concert and The End, the one that sucked the world up into the black hole. Okay.
Season 10.
Yeah, season 10 when they literally destroyed the map, made it a black hole for like 2 days or whatever. The megabytes, the download for this, Adrian, was Travis Scott was like around 400 megabytes. Okay. And the End, which is the biggest event that's ever happened in Fortnite in terms of megabytes, is 600 megabytes. Okay, for this update. December 1st for the Galactic event is 4 gigabytes.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, and we don't know what specifically is gonna be in it. We don't know if they're gonna destroy the world, put the new map in. We have no idea. But I am gonna experience it with Jake. Okay, and we got unless Josh is coming or whatnot, but we got 2 more spots right now, and I'd appreciate it if you guys hopped on and we could witness an event together that is easily the biggest event that's happened so far in Fortnite, and there is a possibility that they destroy this map and give us the old one back. It probably won't happen. It probably won't happen, but
I will join. You
Yep.
count me in.
Jake said that there was a superhero cup, and I know that's true because he played it over the weekend. There's a superhero cup just this weekend that was $1 million tournament. You know what I mean? Like they aren't giving out nearly as much money as they used to. You know, but who really could? Like they were throwing out money. It was unhealthy.
I mean, they were making.
Yeah,
they were
but if
making
you-
200 million a month.
Yeah, literally,
but
easily.
And it's a
just
free
in incentives
game.
alone.
It is a free game.
With
Giving
all
out
the
It's
fucking
ridiculous.
millions.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know.
Hold on, I'm about
They're,
to look it up real quick.
they yo, Fortnite isn't a different topic when you're talking about money wise, at least. I mean, kind of not even really because of like Dota and all that type of stuff, but I don't find the enjoyment nearly as much of watching like Dota tournaments. I'm not gonna lie, CS:GO tournaments, like their main championship, is so cool. It's so cool to me because I actually like used to like playing CS:GO and stuff. It's not my preferred game. Like, you know, I don't know. Like, really, if I'm sitting at the computer and I want to play a video game, what I would choose would be Fortnite. But it just like I just like at the same time I don't like Fortnite and Call of Duty. I've just played too much of it, and PC or keyboard low-key fucking sucks this year for it. And I don't know. Like I'm just chilling off video games compared to what I used to. But it's just like I don't know, man. It's like video games are such a cool little I can't even call it like a little niche because like everybody does it now. But I don't know. I just think like what like do you think there will be a game like Fortnite in the sense like how Among Us popped off how they did, you know? is
I
like,
think there's always going to be another competitor
me too, me
at
too.
some point.
At some point, but I
I don't.
still
I
stand
don't.
by my standing with VR. Like, it's gonna be whatever changes people to go off of consoles and get a PC and a VR. I think that is the only route that's gonna be able to take literally the world by its balls, like Fortnite did. Like that was a different thing, and I know you guys know that's true because like we all lived through it, we all played through it, we all. I know at least for a fact Adrian was. I'm pretty sure Seth was. We all played in season 0. Like we played
Yeah.
within like 2 weeks of this game coming out. We heard about it and just started playing it on console. I had a PC at the time, but I was playing it with you guys because it was strictly just for fun. And I don't know. It's just like the way all of that worked out is just unreal. And I don't think like a video game is gonna come out that's gonna be able to make that much noise until a whole different momentum of video game comes out, like a VR.
There's gonna be some game. There has to be, like, because like even think like look how Minecraft took the world when that came out. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's a
there has
generational
to,
game,
there
100%.
has to
That's the most successful
there's
game of all time, I'm pretty sure.
there's
I'm gonna
gonna be a
Google it. I'm
game
pretty sure.
eventually. There's a game that's gonna come out eventually that's gonna just take the world and be like, this shit is the best that you can do right now. Are we I wanted to ask you, Brandon, are we able to show clips on here?
So the way that we would have to do it is you send me the link. I don't know what the best way we would do that. Let's figure that out like within like the next episode or something, because I was telling Seth about it. I just made an overlay that we would be able to switch to, and it would be the screen of whatever the clip is per se. I feel like if you wanted to do it right now, if we're all going to watch something, I feel like the best way to do it smoothly would be for you to go to my stream and send a link through my stream, just so I don't hop off of the full screen that we have right now.
Well, because I was gonna see if you guys were willing and down to. I wanted you to play the ending of the Dallas and Minnesota hardpoint, and just kind of like to like capitalize and show how like competitive Call of Duty like is, I guess.
So the most like
yeah, no, that would work, Jake, but I just don't want to mess up the overlay because we're gonna be uploading these like straight without like cuts and stuff. You know what I mean? So I just want it to look neat.
Minecraft comes in at second at 200 million. GTA 5 comes in at 110 million and counting. Wii Sports is at 82.86 million, and then coming in at fifth is PUBG at 50 million plus.
Yeah, Minecraft's first though, you said, right?
No,
yeah,
Tetris.
but those are fucking no Tetris. Yeah, 500 million, and then Minecraft is second at 200 million.
Yeah, Wikipedia says different, but yeah, I mean, I
went on.
I'm sure.
IGN.
Yeah, I'm sure Tetris is up there for sure. That game's goated, literally insane. Nah, but yeah, no, we'll figure out clips next episode or something. But yeah, because I'm sure people that are into Call of Duty and stuff, they already like know it.
As of May 2020, 350 million players have downloaded Fortnite. And then Fortnite's net worth is roughly $18 billion.
Like as it stands right now.
Yes, for a free game, it is roughly $18 billion of profit.
It's ridiculous, man.
I'm really not surprised between the fucking battle pass and how many skins and pickaxes.
Bro, they like, I don't know, bro. I don't use this argument a lot for video games because it's kind of bullshit. But in the sense that, like, I'm gonna bring it up though, nevertheless. That game, Apex Legends, that came out, right? They came out with an amazing thing called a respawn, okay? And you were able to respawn your friends, so then you didn't have to fucking, if I die off rip, I don't have to just sit here and watch you two just run around just to like die again, and like we just queue up and just keep doing that. And so Fortnite stole it, and it like got hate in like communities of Apex, obviously, but even Fortnite people are like, wow, like you just stole a mechanic off of a different game, like why would you do that? To me, right, I don't think that's wrong. Like it made the game better. You know what I mean? Like if you end up dying, Adrian, because you don't build in the game, right? Because the game's different, so you're still playing in season like 2, right, or season 4.
Fuck
Um,
you.
That cat didn't even build walls in season 2.
yeah, facts. But it's like to me, right? Like it was a needed thing, and it really progressed the game and it helped the game. And I don't know, things like that like help. Like I'm not gonna blame Call of Duty for making a battle royale. That makes no sense. I'm not gonna blame them for creating a battle pass. They're using something that they know works because somebody
Right.
else tried it, and it's making video games better. And I think that's like one of the coolest parts of this type of stuff is because I mean, there's a lot of old heads that are in like those meeting rooms trying to figure out what they're going to do with their game and what's going to be more financially good for their company and stuff. And I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. But to me, right, it's just like to be able to risk it and change your game because you saw something work on a different game, but you just know like that mechanic will work in your game. I think that stuff's so cool.
I
And
would
What
plus, I
also
mean, it works. That battle pass probably got Call of Duty a lot of money. I ain't gonna lie.
Brandon, do you remember when there was that horror deal? Because just going off what you said, like with stealing ideas and stuff. Um, do you remember? I want to say it was Titanfall. I'm not 100% sure, but there was one game that got a lot of
Probably.
slack for copying something from Halo. I just don't remember. It might have been Destiny. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. But they got a lot of hate for copying something out of Halo.
See, I,
That
I know
like
Titanfall got a lot of hate. I don't know if it was because of that game though, so I think that's a little different. But yeah, I remember Titanfall for sure. But Titanfall to me was super dope. Like it didn't pop off as well as it probably could have. But that was the original people that made Call of Duty from Infantry Ward and stuff. Infinity. I said infantry.
infantry.
But yeah, Infinity War, like the original group, they branched off and they made Titanfall, and I think Titanfall was cool. I didn't play 2, but
I did. I enjoyed it. It was a decent
it
game.
was cool. And then I could be wrong. That's the issue with having these live, and we can't like super fact check, or I guess we could, but it would just take more time. But I'm pretty sure Black Ops 3 came after Titanfall. I'm pretty sure, and that it's either that or it was background because I remember the drama between that was like, oh, like you can fucking run on walls, like that's some bullshit, like you're just stealing from this game, and it's just like I hate that because then aren't we all for battle royale's sake, we're all just stealing the idea of a game mode. That's all it is. Like DayZ, okay? If you guys want to know the origins of fucking battle royales, the DayZ, the zombie game, that's a zombie survival game on PC. People started creating mods for it, and they created a battle royale. Okay, and so what came up after that was like H1Z1. That spawned PUBG. You know what I mean? And it got battle royale like open to like RIs and all this type of stuff. And I feel like Fortnite was just a perfect time, perfect not perfect, but a different way of playing a video game with the editing and walls. Even though it wasn't a big deal at the time, we didn't really use them to our advantage. But it was like it threw a wrench into a shooter, and then at the same time, it gave people on console, people on PC, obviously, but everything a free game that's a battle royale, and it was just different. It was just so much different, and it was just a perfect time. Like Fortnite got super lucky, honestly. It just it blew up.
there
It's
was
such an
there was
understatement
nothing
too.
there was nothing that was competing with it.
Yeah,
And going back to the whole competing with a game in the future, me personally, I don't believe there's gonna be another game like Fortnite, because
yeah,
Fortnite held its value for 3.5 years strong, and it's still
ridiculous.
going. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And I do remember like end of 2017 going into 2018, like that Christmas, bro. Like, man, that's when that shit like really took off, and that's when we started playing like Save the World to get
Oh,
V
I
bucks
remember
and
that.
things
Yeah.
like that, like grinding guns and shit.
yeah.
And then we went back to playing battle royale, and I don't think that any game will compete with that. And if it does, kudos to them, but I truly don't think that any game is gonna hold its value like that, or even create the revenue for a
Yeah.
free game.
Yeah, like I like the idea of keeping it open. Like how Adrian said, there has to be something that blows up like it. I do agree with that. But in the sense of how gaming is right now, even on this little PC keyboard thing or on a console with a controller, I don't see a game doing what Fortnite did. I would be so shocked. It would be super cool, and I hope it does
Maybe
happen.
maybe not numbers, but there's gonna have to
Nah,
be
the influential, like just the moment, like I don't even know the right word, but it's just like what Fortnite did. I don't see that happening. There's just no way. It was that's like almost never happened. Like Minecraft was the other game that happened to. You know what I mean? And Minecraft obviously is gonna be a game that people are gonna still play in like years and years to come, bro. It's like
Yeah, like
when I quit Fortnite, when I fully am done with the game, I will always have it on my computer just so that one time I want to hop in creative and just crank some shit, get my fingers warm, like I'll just be able to do that. You know what I mean?
right.
And last thing on Fortnite, I'm really happy we were able to actually have a good discussion too on Fortnite. Um, I think. Oh, what was I about to say? Um, uh okay, so with Fortnite, right? People talk about Fortnite's a dead game. In the sense of where it used to be, I mean, you could say dead or whatever, but number wise, you with that uh basis or whatever, like you could say Call of Duty's dead, you could say 2K's dead, like all of that type of stuff, but because the numbers are so much different, you know what I mean? But who can really keep up the momentum that Fortnite actually had? You know what I mean? Just lost
means
Adrian.
Wi-Fi. But no, I mean I can understand with like the with what you're saying with number wise, but um Fortnite just kept such consistent numbers, and it actually grew like once things started changing, because everybody that was building is like, well, yeah, now I'm gonna just go fuck shit up, and more
Yeah.
people are like, well, I'm gonna try it too, and it grew. But I do remember, 2018, you would fucking go on Snapchat and look at people's stories, and it would be nothing but Fortnite. Hey,
Nothing
we
but
need
it.
we need one, we need two.
People that don't
There
even
was
play video games like that, bro.
right.
Oh, it was unreal. It was literally unreal. It was a different time of gaming, and just I don't know. Yeah, I don't see that happening with how gaming is right now. But I do think when we go to VR, because that will be the future of gaming. I know that for a fact. That type of gaming, when it's the casual way of playing video games, there will be something that pops off like that. Because there's already certain VR games that are pretty big for in their own right. But like when people like us and people like excuse me, people that just casually play video games, that just have a PS4 or something, like those people that have VRs, when it's at that level, there will be a game that's able to pop off probably like that. But I don't even know if it will be to that level though, because that was just crazy. But yeah, basically what I was saying when you disconnected rudely. I'm joking.
Listen. It's not my fault. Discord shit the bed. It just fucking crashed on me for a second. I'm back. We're
Hey,
good.
yeah, at least his internet didn't crash. Um, but yeah, what I was just saying is just like, because the game isn't dead. Like in the sense of what I actually think was the issue with Fortnite, right? Is when it came out and how casual it really was. Of you could just get on, you jump off that bus, and everybody didn't build. Like people were just running around. Nobody knew what they were doing. It was just a new type of game with the zones and the circles and stuff. Nobody worried about rotating dead side. Nobody knew how to play battle royale. So it's like it turned into such a competitive game that like you have to, like, unless you're playing pubs, like if you're playing arena or you're playing tournaments, obviously like the game's really competitive. So for the people that never took that time to go into creative, like me and Jake would spend, I can't even tell you how many hours just 1v1ing, just running up these stairs, cranking 290s, coming at each other like this, and then just facing off. You know what I mean? So many times just to master our muscle memory for everything. You know what I mean? And you had to do that just to become an average player. You know what I mean? And that's why I've said this to Jake. I've said this to both of you. I know for a fact that it's just like, I wouldn't really recommend anybody to just hop on Fortnite, you know what I mean, and play that anymore. The only way you could really enjoy that game is if you truly want to become a good builder, you know what I mean, and are willing to put in that time, that month, that strong month, maybe 2 months to become, not even, no, it would take like a month, like even less maybe, to actually know how these builds work, where to look, move your camera angle to build certain spots and stuff, because you just need to know the basics of building to move on and actually have fun in this game. Because if you haven't done that yet, you're just gonna be running around when these motherfuckers have spent days, like game time of 20, 30, me for instance, Jake for instance, 100 plus days of in-game time on just like creative living there, just living there and like working at zone wars, box fights, that stuff I showed you, Adrian. It's ridiculous how much that game has changed.
I do. I don't know about you guys, but I have a whole different level of respect for like when it comes to esports with people that are pro within their own games, whether it's Fortnite, COD, whatever your cup of tea is. But I have a whole different level of respect because, like, just going off what you said, like the amount of grind that has to go in to you being so good at a video game that you're playing, to be the best of the best or up in that tier level of the best people of that play that game. Like I just have a whole new level of respect for how much time and effort and like even like I don't think people understand how much time realistically you have to grind to be a professional gamer at a certain level.
People don't know. People do
Because
not know, bro.
you just said, like in game time and real life time are completely different things. Like
So
you put
much.
in you put in a day in game time, you're easily that's like 2-3 days real life.
It's more. Yeah, I mean, it depends
It
on
might
how
be
much.
more.
Yeah, it depends on how much you play. Like for instance, when me and you played Call of Duty, yeah, like in 2 days or 3 days, we probably could have 24 hours of in-game time. But
That's what I'm saying.
that's with us playing, you know, half the day on Call of Duty. Like an
Right.
average person, they could play 2 weeks and not even have a full in-game one day. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
and I'm just saying that to back up your statement, because like I'm telling you, bro, I put in the time for me, at least in my own mind, to become a Fortnite pro. You know what I mean? Like I put in the time. It's just like I like me myself speaking for my predicament with Fortnite is I just wasn't fucking good enough. I struggled with the mouse I was using with at the time. I was still trying to get used to a keyboard, and I just was fucking ass. I was better than, you know, the top, like I was top 2% maybe in this video game. I could say the same thing for Jake. Jake was struggling at the beginning when he was on his Xbox, but bro, that's how good this game was, bro. That for a free video game, I met Jake in like because he knows Cody. He's fuck, I don't remember. I think he's dating Cody's sister, is it cousin? Something like that, right? That's how I met Jake, okay? And bro, we played a tournament. I'll make this quick. It was called damn dude, I'm forgetting everything. It was a cup. It was like a fish cup or something. I don't remember. But we ended up qualing. It was our first time ever playing together, and we qualified to semis or whatnot. And I can't explain the feeling of a tournament, a real Fortnite tournament for you guys, because you guys haven't played it. But it's second to none, bro. Like actually being able to do it and popping off to make it to the next round and stuff, it was unreal. And that feeling alone had Jake buy a PC. I'm talking from ground up. Like he spent, it was over $1,000. It was like $1,200 just to play a free video game. You know what I mean? And I'm talking to, and he, like I was doing something separate. Like every day that I was hopping on, it was because my whole goal was to either qual for a World Cup or to become a popular streamer. You know what I mean? And start that whole thing. For Jake, he was in college and stuff, and he's doing his own shit. But for this free video game, this dude was like, bro, like help me build a PC. You know what I mean? Like tell me what to do. I want to do this, and I want to become better. You know what I mean? And I got to gradually watch Jake get so fucking nasty at this game. It's because of your controller. I hope you're listening, dude. You're not good at that game. You're terrible. I'm joking. But it's just like, you know, it's just like, to me, it's so cool seeing that type of stuff and being able to see, like, this is kind of just like with what you're talking about. And the reason why I kind of stole your conversation from you is it's just like, yeah, watching people put in that time, it's just you really don't get it, like, unless you're living it, because that shit is just so scary, man. Like these people lose sleep, to say the least. You know what I mean? Just to
Oh yeah,
watch
losing sleep's the
VODs.
least of it. Yeah,
You know what I
what?
mean? You're talking about playing 12 hours a day or something, and then getting off to eat your dinner. But while you're eating your dinner, you're VOD reviewing, and you're
Yeah, you're
studying
watching
your game.
gameplay and clips and
You're doing everything you can up until sleep, and then you're waking up just to do that same shit again. It's like that respect is, honestly, to me, right? And this could be a trigger warning for people, is like why I consider an esports a literal sport, because just because we're not sweating in the sense of running and doing all this type of stuff, the power that you have to have in your mental to even
right.
deal with the time alone. You're not even talking about the video game and learning the game and being skilled enough with your hand-eye coordination, muscle memory, whatever, reaction time, everything, not even including all that. You're just talking about the mental capacity to really, like, play a game that much and become the best at it. That is, like, literally the most respect that I could give to somebody that's playing in video games, because it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, calling somebody like, oh my god, like, all you do is live on this game, like, fuck, I don't know. It's weird. It's
I
weird,
don't
but,
know,
like,
well, like, cause when COD came out and like, I mean, you guys know how much I played. I
I tried keeping up
played,
with you, but that game ain't
but
fun.
no, it's definitely a work in progress. Hopefully, it gets better.
Yeah.
But it really does. Like, it takes a toll on your mental health.
Yeah.
I was gassed, bro. Like, I'm sitting here. I've been playing for 21 hours straight, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm beat. And it really does. And like, you have to have a whole level of dedication and within yourself to know, like, not even just like within yourself, but like believing in yourself enough to do this grind and know, like, I'm good enough. I just have to put in the time and the effort to get me to where I need to be at the best level I can possibly be at, so that I can compete at the highest level. You know what I mean? And like it
Yeah.
really does take a toll on your mental health. Rest in peace, Pharaoh.
R.I.P.
But
The show.
it really does. Like there's, if you look into, like, even, I don't know about all esports because I don't really follow all esports that well, but like, even within Call of Duty, like, I see stuff on Twitter all the time about pro COD players talking about their mental health. And like, even like
Yeah, it's
in
a
the
huge
off
deal.
season, even in the off season, they're like, they issue out apologies to their fans and their supporters, like, when they stream, because they're like, I'm burnt out, like, I need to take a break for a week to get away, and like, I'm sorry, I know you guys support me, I love you guys, you're my fans, but I need a break. And like, it's crazy how much that just literally just video games can take a toll on your body
Yeah.
and your mental health.
Yeah, no, it happens. It happens at all levels too, because it's like, for us, I mean, that mental health thing is real too. But it's like, I couldn't imagine, bro. Like for Fortnite, for instance, right? Like, because that's just my main game that I know the most about. I know Call of Duty goes through it too, but in Fortnite's sense, right? They got tournaments every week, or at least they used to. And so it's like, these pros that are trying to keep up with the best in a game that has way too many button configurations and everything you got to do. You take that week or two off, man, you could become washed very, very easily. And so that mental health issue is a very, very big deal. And it's because it's just like, it's like you're literally sitting there not playing, and you're gonna think about it and just be like, wow, like, I'm not, like, I need to be playing right now, because if I don't, like, people are gonna
Hmm.
catch up to where I am. And like, who knows what can happen? Like, you could get dropped from your team, you could do all this type of stuff. Being a professional in a video game is no joke, man. Like, that is a full-time job, and it's, honestly, you're gonna be working harder than you would at a normal job, in my opinion, just because of just everything that comes into play with it, man. Like, you literally would need a therapist. Like, there's so many people that actually have, like, therapists, and they go
Right.
a lot, because that shit is just so taxing on your head.
And it kind of does upset me to the point where, like, I can kind of agree with what you just said about the whole, like gaming in itself is more draining than like a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But it really upsets me to the fact where some people are like, okay, so there obviously there's pros in certain games, and then so like, but then people knock them. They're like, they don't get respect because they're a pro in Call of Duty or they're a pro in Fortnite, they're a pro in Dota, they're a pro in League, whatever. But like they get knocked because they're a pro doing this, and they're like it's the whole thing of, well, go to school, go do
Yeah.
this, go get a real job.
Go get a real
But
job. Yep.
like that frustrates me so much to the point because like I mean, obviously I'm not a pro by any means, like not even close.
I
But
get it.
like
Me and you are very
know,
similar in that sense. Of you
I
Call
know
of
what
Duty,
it
me Fortnite, 100%.
I know what it feels like to grind a game and to want to be the best, and just like it kind of hurts my feelings to the point where like they're grinding a game to be the best that they possibly can be. Like show them a little bit of like respect, I guess, if that makes sense.
No, I get that completely. I kind of want to have Seth some room too. I don't like because we're really just talking back and forth between us, but it's just basically I don't know I forgot exactly what you just said, but crap. What did you just say?
About like how they get disrespected about like not having a 9 to 5 or not going to school or
Yeah, yeah. To me, right, it's a hard topic because you know that is how life is. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to financially support yourself and do all that type of stuff. And I get it, but it's like with certain games that are out. You know what I mean? If that's really what your passion is, you got to take advantage of the time that you're given. And so like if you're in a spot like because of COVID and everything that you're willing to put in that type of time, you know what I mean? You can't bullshit it. You got to really put in that time and not lie to yourself about it. But there's a very good chance that shit ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? It's just like it sucks. It really does suck.
Me and you talked about the other day. Like when it comes to that stuff, you have to get lucky. When
You
it
do,
comes to
yeah, 100%.
esports and whether like we were talking about Courage and how he went from like his opportunity arose that someone got sick, they missed out. He said, "Well, fuck it, I can do it." That's how he got his start. Like you just have to get lucky, and when you find that lane and that opportunity, and you get through that hole, you just have to go. You take what you're with and you just run. Take it as far as it'll let you.
Yeah, no, I agree. It sucks too, because like what I was saying, and then pretty much the last thing I'll say on this, because we probably should wrap it up too. We're doing very good on time. But what I'll say is this, right, dude? I keep losing my train of thought, bro. It sucks. In the sense of me and you, what I was saying about with me and you, with you in Call of Duty and me in Fortnite, like, cause I know you put in the time, bro. But it's like there's certain levels that me and you are kind of like pussy about that we don't do. In my sense, I'll speak for myself, is with Fortnite, right? If I really wanted to become better at the competitive side of Fortnite, right? The thing to do would be to play customs, you know what I mean? Play customs that everybody in that game is striving to be the best, and just working your way to the top and becoming the best in these custom games. That's what I used to do in World Cup and stuff when I actually really cared about it. And it's just like you could do everything, bro. You could literally become the best version of however you play. But it's like, in the sense of trying to wrap this back into Call of Duty, it's like you play free ladders, you play wagers, and do all this type of stuff. You know what I mean? Literally, you could just play for years and years and years like we have, and literally nothing happens. You know what I mean? It's like, obviously we're not good enough to be winning the when GBs used to have those like 10Ks and stuff, and be able to get a name, and obviously franchising's fucked up everything, so it's even harder now to get you know, you would have to pop off just to even get into the amateur league, and now like you still really are striving and having a very low shot at fucking getting into the franchising. But I don't know, it's just it does suck, because that's why video games is such a weird thing to me, and why I don't like playing it as much anymore, because it's like it's just a time thing. It's a vacuum, you know what I mean? It's kind of like watching TV. Like, we're doing stuff, like it's still working your brain more than like watching a movie. But I don't know, just to me, I just basically think video games, you know, they're good. They are good, obviously, but to me it's more of a negative, because of the time vacuum. It just sucks up your life if nothing happens, right? Think about how much time you've played in Call of Duty. You're talking about the whole thing. We're talking years and years and years. All of that time could have been used for something different. Right. And that shit sucks to me. You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff that I think about, and why I don't like playing Fortnite anymore. It's just because like I felt like I could have been up there with some of the best at one point, and then I quit and I just took a long break, and it's like coming back to it. I'm decent at best. I'm decent because I'll get humbled by somebody that's actually been playing the game, and it's just like it just sucks because like that's the way I think of video games now, is the competitive side, and like that's the instant thing that I think about versus when we played Fortnite for fun, bro. Like that was unreal. Tree just hopped in the stream. How you doing? Tree was part of our group when it came to Fortnite at the beginning too. You know,
Tree was one of the first crack too.
yeah,
That kid
Tree was
still
amazing.
10-10.
You know what I mean? It was awesome. That game when it was basic was more fun per se for like the casual side. I think it's just as fun now though, in my opinion, in the sense of competitive. It's just you can't play it as long. Like we used to just stay up all the time and just play it and do all that type of stuff. But you just have to
When I was
super
still-
sweat. Like that's the
When
difference.
I was
now.
still at the Beacon, bro, we grinded, dude. I'd go to
I
work,
know,
I'd
yeah.
wake up, I'd go to work, bro. I'd get home, I'd shower, and like we'd be on by like 5, bro. And I didn't get off till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, bro. We fucking grinded that game.
I'll sell you a Tama. Tree. Yeah. Call me after this podcast for sure. We'll figure something out. We got a bunch. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? We could try to break 20 minutes to 2 hours. I was just built different. Yeah. Is there?
I mean, I'm cool. I feel like we got a lot
I think
talked
we covered
about.
a lot.
Yeah, I feel like we had a good episode. Cool, yeah, and we had a decent amount of people just chilling here too. I appreciate everybody that stopped in, especially the people that are still in here. I don't know if Jordan's still in here, but yeah, Jordan, I appreciate it. Jake, Tree, everybody that commented, everybody that's viewing, lit. We got one more episode to record, and then we're gonna start uploading all of these onto all the podcast platforms: iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, everything you can name it. I'm gonna be going crazy with the editing, trying to figure out just the best way to get this content out, because I feel like it's actually pretty good. I think that we're on to something here. So definitely. All right. Well, I'm about to head out, so I hope
Yes, sir.
hope everybody enjoyed it. Have a good one.
See ya.
Take it easy, yo.